We're back. So guys, I know it's been a little while. A lot of crazy stuff happened over the weekend, and I was looking forward to talking about it on the pod. As you know, we all know Nicki Minaj has been a big presence in rap culture, almost going on 2 decades now. She released the Pink Print 2, and as a follow up to it, has been on tour the last couple months. Sadly, though, she had a unfortunate stop, I guess I'll say, in Amsterdam this past Saturday. Reports from TMZ are saying that she allegedly, somebody in her staff had some marijuana within their luggage. She also went on live that day, which I saw. I was kind of confused because she was talking to an official there from their local police department, and she just kept on saying, you have no right to detain me, this, that, and the third. So with that, as a follow-up, she went on like a barrage of tweets saying, she feels as though the powers that be are trying to stop her momentum with her tour and her career. And then a lot of people, the Barbs, they were kind of speculating, why is she getting arrested if, weed is legal there, drugs are legal there in Amsterdam. And she ended up canceling the show that day as well. She's out, thank God, but I'm sure her and her team are having to handle some stuff legally. What are your thoughts about that? Because honestly, my first initial reaction was like, this is another example of Americans kind of overstepping our bounds. And I feel as though we just assume, our laws are our laws, so everyone should just, get down and lay down. And that's something I always try to tell friends when they travel overseas. Like, just don't assume certain shit, because no one gives a fuck about how shit is ran over here. And they will remind you that.
Just quickly, there is a word for exactly that. American exceptionalism.
American exceptionalism.
Learn something every day.
Monster, Roman,
Womp
Baba.
womp.
I'll go first. I will actually say I actually agree with you to a certain extent when it comes to that. When I'm out and about, I have like the 360 mindset that I have, where I like to try to be present with who I'm with, but I'm also like, what's behind us, what's in front of us, what's to the side, especially if, I'm out with my lady, I'm like, what's going on? I'm trying to think 2 to 3 steps ahead, because, we just live in that type of world where churches, movies, nothing is safe. Like nothing, like there's no safety. So when I look at the situation, right, I agree with you, because when you get outside the U.S., thank you for dropping that word. I just see so many people don't take traveling seriously, because you stick out. I don't know how tough you are. You can be like Drake and switch up your lingo. They know you're not from here.
Bad
You're not.
yeah.
I was low-key setting you up for that. I low-key setting you up for some shit. And that's the part where it's the arrogance, where it's okay to be outside and follow those rules. Now, I have another piece of information with the Nicki piece, but I kind of wanted to just at least say that I agree with you to a certain extent with that. But I want to add some context later. But Koss, what do you think about what Tay was saying?
100% I agree with what Tay said, that this really is just an American not being in America. I think a lot of people don't realize how much freedom we have, how loose some of our laws are. And in America, we also do a lot of self-governing in a way. AKA why so many people own guns, and and why, in specific states you kind of know what to do, because you might get shot. Well, in Europe and other places, the government handles that for them, so there's a lot more rules, it's a lot stricter, and it's a different world. I always tell people when they travel, like, you're not at home. Think of it like almost your parents are watching you in a way. Like, don't do anything you wouldn't want them to see you do, and you'll be fine.
So a piece of context that I kind of want to add to where I disagree with where we're kind of going at it is, from what I understood, the bag has, from what Nicki was saying, the bag was already cleared, and they're about to get on the plane, and they're like, oh, let me look at it. Let me look through it again. And from Nicki's perspective, in my opinion, I would have to agree with her, where they were just trying to get her to pay the tax. All right, we know you're from money, now pay us. And now, I know you may talk about this, how Nicki, says they're trying to stop her tour, stop her run. Nicki Minaj is a phenomenal artist, and she's been on a run, but I don't know if it's the run she's thinking it is. But when you're out sometimes if you run across the wrong government, they play by money rules. CASH. And if you like, we got it, let me see. So I kind of think it was a bit of a shakedown too.
That's also possible.
Interesting. The Dutch don't strike me as that way. They're a little more straight lined, kind of by the book. But that's interesting you point that out. My only defense would be that airport does suck. That the Amsterdam airport is a shit show. It's super crowded, super busy. I hate going through it.
And I saw a lot of different reports. There was some confusion whether or not it was actually her bag or somebody on her staff. So some of that stuff is kind of like, I don't want to say out of her control, but also when you are the head honcho, you gotta control. Like you drive with me, and say we get pulled over by police, I have to more or less control what comes out of your mouth, because at the end of the day, it's my car, my responsibility, and they're gonna pop off on me.
No, I agree with you so much. Where I understand representation, because what you do indirectly affects what we do. And don't get me wrong, like if you do whatever you do, it is. But at the same time, I think people forget you represent stuff when you get into those high positions. And I would say with Nicki, at least, she did get a standing ovation when she got out. They were waiting for her. So I got to give her that. But I'm curious. I could be wrong. Fact checking, you may or may not have to look this up. But isn't weed legal in Amsterdam?
Go ahead.
It is technically illegal, but it is okay for recreational use per AP News.
It's really weird. In Europe, weed is weird. Like also it's like kind of more city central-ish that they're like cool with it. Same with like Prague. Like you can kind of smoke in the city, but not really out of the city. And like if you're obnoxious with it, they'll charge you. But if you're kind of minding your own business with it, they won't.
See, I ain't got time to, like,
And those are the only two places you can do it too. Like everywhere else, it's not allowed.
yeah, I ain't got time to be playing around like that.
So it's just not.
So
worth
you
it.
would never. You would
It's just
never.
not worth it
Oh,
unless you go to a specific place in Amsterdam that sells it, like a cafe. That's what they have, weed cafes. Like that's where it's like seen okay to do it. So you go to a cafe, you smoke a joint at a cafe, and then you leave.
Okay.
Outside of that, I wouldn't. Don't bring.
For
your
me,
stuff.
it's like, why even take penitentiary chances for some shit as small as that?
Look what happened to Brittany Griner.
No, dead ass.
Like
When I was in, I'm butchering it, Guadalajara.
There
we go. When they were bringing around like the water trucks every like second or third day, and then on the off day they did bring the water, it was like the military Jeep with the guns, and I was like, I ain't about to piss none of these people off in this town. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, traveling is just different.
Bro, like imagine getting caught with like a .5 and you end up getting waterboarded. Like, what even?
And think like you you a nigga, so we gonna go extra hard. Oh my gosh, I don't want that at all ever in my life. Going to jail, being jailed overseas. Whew.
rough, unless it's in Scandinavia.
I was gonna ask. I don't know if you know. I want to presume. Are European jails as bad as it make them sound?
It depends. If you go to Scandinavia, they're fantastic. It's like a luxury apartment.
Really?
Yeah, they let you leave, but most people don't. I'm not even joking.
They let you leave? What
It's
the
like,
fuck?
they're like, this is where you live now. You can leave, but there won't be any life for you because no one's gonna hire you, so you can just stay here, and then just stay there.
Oh, that's interesting.
In Eastern Europe, it's shit. No, yeah, like in Romania, in Poland, Ukraine, Russia, awful. Like it's awful. No good conditions. No, like American jails are better.
Yeah, shaving ice with no shirt on.
Yeah, just not just like old communist prisons that were built in like the 60s and the 50s. You don't want to.
Chernobyl?
No, but they'll stone you.
Oh, damn. Okay, interesting.
Like a gulag. The gulags are prisons now, yeah. The old gulags are just prisons.
I think, didn't Brittany Griner already talk about her experience? Did anybody catch that? Or
I didn't like listen to her
didn't
talk.
tap-
I think she did come out with something about that.
Yeah, I didn't tap in though.
okay. I'm scared. Well, all right, you guys.